We have an escaped prisoner on the run who managed to slip out of his handcuffs and chains while being transported to court in Kern County. Now, this is something major, and part of the reason is because it's very hard to jump out of a van that's taking you to court. Now, I've been in those vans several times, and it's kind of odd because when you're in those vans, you are in a cage. You are locked in a cage, which means when they open the door to the van, they have to open the cage door in order to get out. Now, that's not the only thing that is odd about this. You have handcuffs that are handcuffed to a chain that goes around your waist, and then you have shackles on your ankles. So making a handcuff key, it's really not a big deal. Those keys are made by prisoners all the time. I've made them before. I've had them before. I used them before. So I was able to slip out my cuffs if it was uh, needed. And it wasn't to escape, but if you're ever um, handcuffed and you're being transported from one prison to another, and you know that there are enemies close by, you're going to have your handcuff key, you're going to slip out your cuffs, or you're going to make it very easy for you to get out your cuffs if you had to. So this individual, it doesn't say if um, he broke out of his cuffs, but they did find the shackles and chains in the alleyway near the place where he escaped. His story is kind of weird, and the reason why is because you have this policy in the California Department of Corrections nowadays where the inmates aren't supposed to be treated like inmates. They're supposed to be treated like a regular civilian. The California Department of Corrections, one of their policies is that the correctional officers and the inmates, they're allowed to play basketball, softball, hacky sack, ping pong, soccer, whatever. They're allowed to get that close to each other where they can uh, participate in these activities. So we know with that um, policy in place, you're going to have individuals that, like any other human beings, they're going to build a bond. They're going to build a bond with these officers and inmates. They're going to get to know them. They're not going to, they're not going to, how you say it? They're not going to treat them like they did back in the days where they kept their distance. They kept an eye on them. They looked out for any wrongdoing. They confiscated any contraband. You have these officers and inmates developing bonds where an officer might turn away when he sees something that he's not supposed to see. And you have the you have the ones that, you know, they know someone's doing something they're not supposed to do, but they turn away. They might get caught with a phone or a tattoo gun and they turn away. Basically, they develop a friendship and a bond and they treat each other like they would if they were on the streets. Now, who knows how close these correctional officers were with this individual? Who knows if they even knew him from inside the prison? But we do know that they were assigned to transport him to court for something that um, he done in there. It was a new charge. He was already sentenced. He was doing 25 to life for a 187, and he had all day. He did have a possibility of parole, but with that life sentence, that's not always guaranteed. We do know that he took the perfect opportunity. Um, I think he knew where he was going. He knew what he was going to do, and he might have had some outside help. But it's kind of strange because it's possible that he had some inside help also. It's not easy jumping out of these vans, especially when you have a cage and a door. And I don't know if there were other inmates that were in that cage with them, um, but if they saw he was going to do something, I'm pretty sure that they didn't say nothing. He must have waited till the van stopped at a stoplight or something. There is video which I hear um, that is out that shows him running from the correctional officers that started to chase him when they realized that he jumped out. Now, from what I'm hearing, the correctional officer that was chasing him was um, out of shape. No way he was going to catch up to him. So he was basically a free man. They found the chains and shackles in an alley, but they don't know where he went. They don't know if he was picked up. They don't know nothing. Well, with these policies that are put in place in the Department of Corrections, they could have planned this out with the cell phone. They could have had someone from the outside communicating with the correctional officers. Now, this is me just speaking from outside the box. Now, it's not easy to escape. It's not easy to escape and actually get away without help from somewhere. You have to know the the route you're going on. You have to know the time. And in order for someone from the outside to know exactly that time, someone had to tell them. The inmate don't know. The inmate don't know what time he's going to be in a certain spot, certain stop sign, a certain stoplight. The inmate don't know that. But the correctional officers might, or they should. They have a certain time they got to get this individual to court and get him off the van and take him into the holding. And, they have a certain time limit that has to be done. So when they call his case, he's present. So it's just kind of an interesting story. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Because if anybody escapes, or if anybody has escaped, if it's not a well thought out plan, and if you don't have no help on the outside, very few times you're gonna get away for a minute, if not forever. Now, the last I checked, they hadn't found him, and it's been more than 24 hours. So I would think um, if he's not somewhere around that town, then he's gone. They're not gonna catch him. Now, this another thing I was gonna point out was this new policy that the CDC has, where you can get regular running shoes inside the prison. You get you put in for a soft shoe chrono, and they give you your tennis shoes that come from the outside because they have to. They already been sued for they already been sued for so many things that inmates nowadays basically get whatever they want because there's so many lawsuits that the Department of Corrections got filed against them. Um, it's it's uh it's crazy. So the video, they say the video shows him, I don't know, with his running shoes on, and if he was in shape, if he exercised, if he jogged in there, then he had stamina. So he was gone. He was gone. Correction officers, they don't got to work out like back in the day when correction officers were yoked up. They got their money on the weight power. They were strong and they were healthy and they would fuck you up if they had to. You know, they knew that all the inmates were in good shape, so they had to be in good shape. Because if something were to happen, they got to be strong enough to defend themselves or you know fight back or something. I guess that policy is not in place. They don't have to do that. So this correctional officer that was chasing him on video, they say he was, really out of shape, can barely run, probably overweight, and they say the video shows the inmate running and pulling away, which he wasn't going to be caught. Not only that, the CDC is so screwed up right now that they couldn't even hold a press conference and let the public know that they have an individual that's possibly dangerous who has escaped custody and is somewhere around it. So they left that in the hands of the sheriff or the police department. But while all that time has went by, this guy can have somebody hostage in their own house. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know his whereabouts. They don't know nothing. But this is an interesting story because, um, like I said, it's all, if it's a well planned out plan, it's all based on timing. And the only ones that knows the exact time that they were going to be in a certain place is the ones that were taking them. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm thinking out the box. Um, Me personally, um, I don't care that he escaped. Um, I don't care if they catch him or not. It's a bad look on the Department of Corrections. It's a bad look on those um, correction officers that were transporting them. It's just a bad look all the way around. And if anyone's to blame, you got to start at the top and work your way down. Because all their new policies that were put in place, um, this is one of the side effects. Um, First of all, you have to think that something like this is possible, and you have to have the right people transporting, which means if somebody tried to run, you had to have somebody that was able to run with them and possibly catch up to them. But he got away far enough where he had time to stop and throw his chains that he was um, chained up to away, and he had enough time to do that in an alleyway. So you can say that the officer chasing him had no chance. But I'm curious to see how it plays out. Um, I would like to hear in the comments what everybody else thinks. Do they think it was an inside job? Do they think he had help from the people transporting him? Like I said, it's all based on timing. And to pull something off like this, you have to have everything right on point. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Um, if anyone lives around that area, um, let us know in the comments. What is it like? Do they have cops going up and down? And, what are they actually doing? Because I know um, there was schools close by. And, you know, do they think he's still in the area? Are they going to go house to house? You know, let us know what you think. With that being said, hit the like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you're made aware of any other content I put out. And like always, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope your families are doing well. Hope your kids are safe. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.